We're live.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Michael. Falmouth Chamber of Commerce annually acknowledges and pays tribute to a citizen who has made a positive and lasting impact on the community through his or her participation in a broad scope of activities. And his commitment to the town of Falmouth has been demonstrated by many years of service beyond their profession. The recipient should have participated in a broad scope of activities over the course of more than a year. This is not an award for a single activity, no matter how well it was executed. As you know, tonight we celebrate an outstanding citizen who over time has exemplified the very attributes we seek to honor. A person well known to many for her professional accomplishments and widespread contributions to the betterment of society. She is a model citizen, admired and esteemed for successfully balancing her devotion to family with years of professional integrity and tireless civic participation, helping people along the way in many ways, quietly and without fanfare or recognition. Please welcome to the lectern the 2019 Outstanding Citizen of the Year, Laura Baruto-Peters. Laura is president and a fourth-generation member of her family's sand and gravel business, Cape Cod Aggregates Corporation. Laura joined the family business for one reason, her desire to work with her dad, Sam. If Sam had made hamburgers for a living, then probably that's what she'd be doing today. Her first stay in Falmouth was in a rental house on Walker Street in July of 1970. And her mom's love of Falmouth and her dad's work brought the family here full-time in 1982. She left the parochial school she'd attended in Walpole, and her mom, Judy LaRusso, secured a spot for her at the Falmouth Academy for 8th grade. We all know 8th grade is always a tough year, and it was tough to move out of that comfort zone, but it put Laura on a quest to find her place. Schoolwork was always a challenge. Really? Okay. But somehow she managed to get into Tabor for her freshman year as a boarder, and she found sports as an outlet. Coming back to Falmouth on the weekends without any friends locally meant that she spent a lot of time alone thinking about life and what she wanted to do. She grew to love the families her brothers played hockey with, but it wasn't until she married and had children that she started to put down her own roots in Falmouth. It's still unclear how she convinced David Peterson, her childhood crush, to marry her, and her daughters Grace and Olivia are proof that her gut instinct was correct. It's also important to note that Big Dave forced his son to call Laura while she was on a trip to Washington, D.C., and that was an important catalyst for the relationship. She's forever grateful to Big Dave for encouraging Dave to make that phone call. Mental health for herself and for others is a priority for Laura. Mindfulness has recently become an important part of her self-care routine, and the benefits she has experienced have been profound. And she'd like to eventually see those practices used by Calmer Choice in many of the public schools become part of the core curriculum for all of Massachusetts. However, she's willing to start small by teaching Dr. Herbert Benson's relaxation response technique to anyone interested here in Falmouth. Helping others provide such a relief to Laura that she says yes whenever possible. Organization leaders like Tracy Prego of Falmouth VIPS, Fiona Jensen of Calmer Choice, Lisetta Hurd-Putnam of Independence House, Sam Mueller of Jack's Pack, Carol Kenny of Falmouth Military Support Group, Brenda Swain of Falmouth Service Center, Karen L. Gardner of the Community Health Center of Cape Cod, and Ellen Barrell of the Falmouth Education Foundation give Laura the opportunity to do things for others and herself. And she admits that their commitment to their own organizations makes her commitment effortless. Today, her roots in Falmouth run strong and deep. The connection she has with family, friends, co-workers, and neighbors, as well as other personal and professional relationships, mean everything to her. She is the first to tell you that she gets more than she gives, and she's fiercely proud to call Falmouth her home. Now I would like to invite our invited dignitaries to honor Citizen of the Year and present the poll here to Laura. Thank you so much.
Just if we can indulge you 1 second. David, can we have you come on up for a second?
Yeah. What about us? It's fine. I didn't want to go up there anyways. I just wanted to go up there. It's fine. I drove home for this. I don't get to go up there. I'm going live.
Senator Warren.
Can everyone hear me?
However, she did.
But I'm here.
Well, I know you are.
I was gonna listen to it. I don't know. Warren, I was gonna listen to it.
Okay. But she does send a citation from the United States Senate. Now Senator D.C.
Hi, Ann. It's Grace.
Okay, Laura's asking me all, close your eyes, we're gonna take a deep breath. We're just honored to be here to honor you and all you've done. I mean, just to sit there, and I saw your dad as you were coming up and watching everybody giving you a standing ovation, and just the pride. It was just absolutely beautiful. I wish I had taken a picture of it, but it's clearly what you have has been something that was in your DNA in giving back to the community. I know your family has been such an important part of the town of Falmouth, and it's just a blessing to see you have the opportunity to be recognized for all that you and your family have done for this wonderful community. So congratulations to you, and on behalf of the State Senate, just wanted to congratulate you. And we all have citations, so I won't be specifically about that. Congratulations.
If you could let Senator Mike Rush know that I'm Citizen of the Year here in Falmouth, and I'm kind of a big deal here. That would really help us out a lot on the Mud Rock Road.
They're fighting over the quarry for work with that senator.
So we, Dylan Fernandez, state rep for Falmouth and the Islands, and we have a citation ourselves from the House side to honor Laura, and an often quoted remark by Martin Luther King is that anyone can be great because anyone can serve, and this award for Laura is not just about her incredible business acumen, but because of her dedication and service to community. And that at the heart is what is so important about the Person of the Year award. It's about service and dedication to community, and Laura truly embodies that in her service to Falmouth. And so we have a citation from the House side I'll read it. It's for Laura LaRusso Peterson in recognition of your outstanding contributions to Falmouth's community as Falmouth's citizens, 2019 Citizen of the Year. And I'd like to point out that in Massachusetts, we have the longest continually running democracy, constitutional democracy in the world, and so I think that gives the citation a little more gravity when we present these things, because we do have the oldest constitution. And I also want to say to Michael, thank you for having putting together another incredible event. I've never parked so far back. I think I parked in Bourne. But this is really a remarkable event, and I want to pander to greatest chamber of commerce in all of Massachusetts. But it's truly remarkable what everyone here brings to the table in terms of giving back to Falmouth. And with that, I'll turn it to my colleague in the House, David Vieira.
I think Senator Warren decided not to come tonight because we're all Portuguese American legislators and she would feel a little out of place. Someone mentioned that earlier that it was in Laura's DNA. And I remember the year I came back from college. I went to Hyannis and I met with her great uncle Paul. And we were working on a project for the community, the Cape-wide community. And I didn't know him. I knew him family. And I left that meeting thinking, he's really committed to the community. He really cares about this. How are we going to make this project work? And then to be able to see over the last couple of decades the intricate involvement of the LaRusso family in Falmouth, leading up to tonight. Tonight, when someone who volunteers for the youth and served on our school committees, volunteers for the seniors, volunteers for those that are most in need in our community, all around. It's not one volunteer organization, it's something that Laura is interested in, a passion. It's a deep, deep commitment to the whole community. And so Laura, you're carrying on a tradition. You're elevating it to a higher level. Congratulations, and I look forward to walking in the Christmas parade with you this year.
Yeah, because it just needs
Hi everyone, I'm Sue Moran, I'm Chair of the Falmouth Board of Selectmen, and like many of you, I'm just incredibly proud that my friend Laura Russo Peterson is Citizen of the Year, and very well deserved. Laura is the wind beneath the sails to a lot that's good in Falmouth, in sometimes quiet, very personal ways. For example, tutoring, just working with one young person at a time. To support the entire high school during the time of tragedy. Laura's the type of leader that will let someone else make a point and support them. And that's, that's the kind of incredible leadership that is just incredibly strong, and the kind of lasting leadership role model to not only her children, her family, but also many young women in town. To have a woman in charge of a business who goes all over Massachusetts and deals with problems, solves problems, works with various communities. We need more of that, and we need more role models so that our young women can grow up and know that it's very possible that you can do it. Here on behalf of Falmouth Board of Selectmen, Sam Patterson, Doug Brown, Megan English-Braga, and Doug Jones, and we give, on behalf of the town, the citation to the Citizen of the Year. Thank you.
Wow. Well, thank you everyone for being here. People who have served with me on boards, volunteered with me, they have an over-under right now on how many bad words I'm going to say. So I pledge to my niece Molly and my nephew Trent and Trey, for every one bad word that I say, I'll give you each $5. And then for those who know me really well, I've often been accused of being too emotional. So before I get emotional, because this is the Chamber of Commerce and it's a business crowd, I'd like to discuss some business. Technically, I'm only citizen for 3/4, not the whole year. So that first quarter, you know, I'd like to get something back for that. I really appreciate, no, I do. I'm so excited about this honor. And actually, Dave Vieira, you mentioned marching. My idea is to get the trolley back, because that's what we did with my dad. And we threw candy off the trolley, and then we heard candy was banned as Jack Hamilton hit a couple of people in the head. Rocket. So, but my idea is actually to get the mentors and mentees and have them invited. And I just think it would be, and coming, I never thought I'd get to ride in a parade again. So that's my, so you're welcome to join us, Charlie. I do have my notes. Falmouth is such a great community that when Michael called me and asked me, well, first of all, Steve Spitz from Cape Cod 5, our banker, Mr. Spitz, said, Laura, I'm going to nominate you. And I was like, no. And but I think this mindfulness stuff is really working, because I thought when I quieted the voices in my head, I said, you know, maybe being Citizen of the Year wouldn't be the worst thing. So 10 minutes later, he says to me, geez, Laura, for somebody who didn't want to be Citizen of the Year, you just rattled off all your accomplishments. I said, yeah, I know. I guess I kind of do want to be Citizen of the Year. And the reason for that is simple. You guys all have my bio. I came here at a really fragile time. 12 was tough, and all I wanted to do was belong. And you know, the joke was that when this table here, my friends, when they became my friends, my brothers would laugh and say, oh my God, you have friends now? And I said, yeah, and I really loved them. And what I'll say is Falmouth is where I grew up, and I became the person that I am. And if you ask me why I volunteer and why I do what I do, the short answer is because I love it and it makes me feel good. It makes me feel so good. So everyone who's let me work with them and let me volunteer with them, I appreciate it. Every board I've ever been on where people have had patience with me, as I did speak my mind and sometimes the filter would fall out, I appreciate you. My family, I'm so grateful for you. I love you, my 2 daughters. If you ever talk to me, you know that the one thing Dave and I have in common the most is that we love talking about our kids. So I apologize for that, but we just love it. So the other thing I have to thank is my business partners, because somebody said to me, well, how do you get to do all the stuff that you do? Well, because I probably spend less time in the office than the rest of them. So I appreciate that too. This is the work that I love. And so the part about the mindfulness, and I've noticed this with my employees, is we don't talk about real stuff until something bad's happened. We have a guy working for us who's been with us for a while, came in my office crying because his wife is going through cancer. And you know, we had like an honest conversation. And so it was, you know, what are you doing for yourself? And that's not something people in the sand and gravel industry, and maybe a lot of people in this room, aren't comfortable doing. And I got so much help, and I got so much from the volunteering that I did, is I want to share that with people. And that's where the mindfulness comes in. So I would encourage you all to look up Herbert Benson, and there's a little video that you can watch, and it's breathing, and it really works. I don't know what else to tell you other than it works. So I'm getting off track. I apologize. See, I will wrap it up. So the other thing was when I first got out into public, I told some of you this. The first 2 people who congratulated me were the Gelfies. And I was like, honestly, of all people to congratulate, you two deserve 3 awards, not just one Citizen of the Year award. I said, but you know what, everyone has a day, and today's my day, and I'm gonna take it. So I appreciate it. And the last thing I'll leave you with is, everyone, I really love Falmouth, and I don't need to tell the people in this room how great Falmouth is, because you all know, and you all are the reasons why Falmouth is so great. I read, when we were little, my mom got us a book, it was written in the 70s, called TA for Tots, and they had warm fuzzies and cold pricklies. And I used to think that the cold pricklies were really the strong ones, and those were the tough ones. And what I have learned as I've grown and gotten older is that it takes a lot of courage to give out the warm fuzzies and to put the warm fuzzies out there. So I want to encourage all of you to put the warm fuzzies out there. Let's keep Falmouth, the caring in Falmouth that I see and that I'm so passionate about. And the last thing is collaboration. I always feel like there's so many people in this community, we have so many great organizations, is find the ones that are already doing the work and make a difference that you want to see. You want to see change, chances are there's already an organization doing it, and go to those people and ask them. And so what I did is I heard a song by John Beninghof, and he's going to play it. And when I first heard the song, I thought, this is it. This is everything. This is my message. This is love. This is what I think community, being a good citizen in the community is all about. And I asked John if he would play it for me, because you always, when you're 49, you know what you're good at and what you're not good at. And me whipping out a guitar and singing songwriter, not what any of you would want. So John was gracious enough to agree, so I'm gonna let John play his song. And so this is your first practice for some of you in mindfulness. I want you to just listen, just be quiet, be still, and listen. Thank you.
Wow. This is literally the only way I'm ever going to get on the stage, so thank you so much. I'd like to play this for my mom, and I'm going to try not to cry too, but I don't play this out. I play at a lot of bars around town, and I never get to play for people who are just listening, so thank you for that. And no, I will not play Freebird. But I just also like to say, this is such a wonderful town, and I mean, you got the best of the best right here, so let's go for Laura here. Come on. Things that we love come at the cost. One day they'll get up and leave. They might get broken along. Love's everywhere, then why is it so hard to find? You think you found it, then lost it, left you out of your mind. So I believe in love. Yeah, now I believe in this thing called love. So how do you know love when it's for real? Something it's artistic, true, or just to know when you feel, yeah. More that we give seems the harder we fall. Cause once you're everything's gone, feels like you're nothing at all. So I believe in love. Just like in heaven, oh God up above. No, I believe in this thing called love. Love is the answer, this much I'm sure. They're at the heart of our sickness. Love is where we'll find the cure. So when you're down and down, the light of your life, go on out. Just remember the door night. It's all thought about that morning light. Something I don't understand, how a woman and man could be the only true love and all the rest should be bad. People hating on love just cause it's different than theirs. Scared and hurting inside, I'll keep them all in my prayers. When I believe in love. Don't need an explanation, oh no. I just believe that love can take us higher than